Welcome to the Pineapple Pinup, the Hot Wife Life. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about date night. I had a date this week and I'd love to tell you all about it. I met my friend, let's call him Josh, originally at a swinger event that was very meet and greet. It was an open mic night where people showcased talents and stuff. And it was very vanilla in the regular world, but it was someplace where we were very close to a hotel. So if things got interesting, you could head on over and create lasting memories. But I met him at the at this event and we didn't really get a chance to talk because a there was things going on that we were supposed to be paying attention to. So he ended up exchanging numbers with me because he'd only gone there to meet me. So then he came to my party um, at the end of summer, and he is the one who was fucking me like on my stomach from behind, and oh my god, yes. So I arranged to set up a date with him, and it was a midweek date. So it's one of those things where everybody's got to get off work, everybody's got to rush home, take care of all the business they've got to take care of, and then after that, then you know. So he showed up, and we had a really great time. He took me. We went upstairs, and I was wearing. Good Lord, I don't think I was wearing anything special. I literally think I just took off my work clothes and went from there because it was just too tight a time frame for me to get dressed up in any way, shape, or form. So he showed up and I spent a very, very long time on my knees worshiping his BBC. And I was struggling to deep throat him. I could not do it. It could not, like, there was way too much, and I could not get past a certain length. And every one of my slut ancestors looked down in shame upon me for not being able to swallow the entirety of that dick. When something is presented to you, it is only fair and nice for you to at least strive to get all of it. So then he laid me on the bed and he ate my pussy, and it was good. He is very talented. And the only thing that he didn't do was the finger magic thing that I really enjoy. So it didn't end up being as wet as it could have been. My trust me, my pussy was wet, but like I'm talking, like want to come fuck me was not as. It was more of a drought season than I've had in the past. So it was, but it's only because of the fact that my G spot was not awakened aggressively. And so I believe me, I was squirting, but it wasn't nearly as much as I have been known to do in the past. But he he fucked me in several positions. Um, on my back. Um, on my back is very, very popular. I actually used my wand while he was fucking me, which was awesome. Because anybody who knows the anatomy of women knows that your clit is connected to your G spot inside, and stimulation to the G spot and the clit at the same time just can really rock your world. Um, Let me see. It was actually so much fun. He was a great time. He wasn't super talkative in the session, but afterwards we actually sat down and had a whole long conversation, and we had so much fun just hanging out together. Um, and my husband was, of course, filming the whole time and totally in love with it. And I'll get on to what happened with my husband after, but he and I, we fooled around for probably about an hour, and then maybe an hour and a half, and then everything had to go into normal night mode. So we ended up really like it was I had some great orgasms, and he had a couple too, and that was so awesome. um he really, like, he fucked me doggy style so that he could get all of his cock inside of me. Other than that, it wasn't happening. Like, I literally had to use my vibrator, my wand, to loosen everything up to the point where the entire length of him could get inside me. He is a very well built man, and it was very, very exciting to struggle with a cock. Is It's very erotic to me, because it's not painful, but it is testing my limits kind of thing. And I got to say that I love that. I love it. Um, Now, my after we all sat around and we talked for a little while, but then we pretty much had to send him on his way because we had dogs we had to take care of, and dinner and all that other good stuff. So he it was a very quick wham bam, thank you ma'am, and he and I agreed that we would definitely do it again. And again we did on Saturday, but I'll tell you more about that later. I want to talk about what happened with my husband. So after Josh left, we spent a great deal of time like running around trying to get everything taken care of for the night. And then my husband was like, "It's too late. I'm too tired. We're just going to put this on. We're just going to not do the reclamation tonight." And he didn't, and then regretted it the entire night. He kept he was so sleepless. He was tossing and turning, and I was like, "Just wake me up. Just do the thing. We like it's more important that we get good healthy sleep than it is for you to toss and turn and regret not fucking me before we went to bed." So it was very interesting to me because my husband was so like he was very impressed with the activities between Josh and myself. And because of the fact that this was new, we of course wore condoms and the whole deal. So there wasn't that come on me spot kind of thing yet. We That is something that we have spoken to him about what do we do next. Will and we did the whole let's be responsible adults kind of thing, and talked about you know your do's, your don'ts, and all that good stuff. So I am very much looking forward to more future dates with Josh. And believe me, Saturday was awesome as well. But like I said, I'll get into that more later. But I do find it very funny that my husband tortured himself rather than taking care of it, rather than reclaiming me the way that he knew he needed to. But it's a nature of a midweek date when everybody has to get up in the morning and go to work. It's very like, oh my god, how do I get everything timed out correctly? And let's just be honest, we did not get it timed out correctly. This is going to be a work in progress. This is going to be a learning thing. But Josh is very local. And so it sounds like this might be something that's going to lead to the kind of relationship that me and my husband both really want, which is a bull who can come and service me or service us in more regular fashion, more more often than, just the weekend. Fingers crossed that everything goes well from here. We had talked about foot fetishes and about foot play and how intensely awesome that can be. There's a lot of nerve endings in the feet that really, really make it very, very nice. We didn't really get into a shoe fetish though. I'm not sure if people who have a shoe fetish also have a foot fetish, or if it's literally just the shoes, or so and I think it might be individual. Some people might have both and some people might just have one. I personally really, really love shoes. I love a good fuck me pump. I love a good thigh high boot. Um, I I love shoes. The problem is I did have surgery on my ankle, which made everything just a little bit more difficult to do as far as the heels go. Um, that being said, hopefully soon I will be able to get back into heels and be able to wear them. But I guess if you don't practice, it's never really going to happen. So I'm going to have to start practicing again. Um, I love high heels because they are very sexy. They are so sexy. And the way they accentuate the curve of your calf and and lift your ass and present your tits, the way you stand in them makes you feel more feminine yet more powerful. And there is something really just beautiful about a shoe that can bring that all together, put all of that into the mix. And I desperately miss my shoes. I desperately miss that I haven't been in high heels for a very long time. Um, and I know that they are so fuck me pumps are so iconic. Okay. They're just like, but there's something about the way that every single outfit is finished with a pair of shoes. Every single thing that we put on is finished with this pair of shoes. It sets the tone. So if you're wearing a tuxedo with flip flops, you look very out of place. If you're wearing, if you're wearing a bikini with thigh high fuck me pants, thigh high fuck me boots, you're making your own very bold statement there. So shoes are, I think, very important to setting the mindset. But there has to be something said about the fact that shoes that are impossible to run in are what is deemed desirable and sexy in the culture. Um, Now, mind you, the culture has changed, but when I was a kid, if you wanted to be sexy, you were wearing high heels. That's just the end of it. There was nobody showing up in a pair of Ugg boots that was like trying to be sexy. They were trying to be comfortable, and that was all there was to it. So, but when you showed up in a pair of high heels, you were trying to impress and you were trying to sexualize. So, it's very funny to me that how we how we used to delineate sexiness was based on how incapable a woman was of leaving, of moving, of getting away fast. Now, I'm not sure if that's just the innate misogyny of the whole fashion industry or whatever, and I don't really care. The fact is that when I wear high heels, I feel sexy. And that is a huge thing. That is a huge marker for me. Because I spend a lot of time finding my mindset, finding my character through my costume, through my wardrobe. This is ingrained in me because obviously you can tell I was a theater kid. Um, that is all building who you're going to be in this moment and in this time. And that I think is kind of awesome. It's a way to build into the party that you're going to. It's a way to build into um, whatever scene you're trying to set. It's a way to build into making a date special or more special or just casual, making it all very calm and chill. Um, it helps me to find that outfit that's going to put me where I want to be mentally for whatever function is ahead. And I don't know about all of you, and that's not really where I'm trying to go with it, but just it's kind of like action creates change. You're never going to think your way into change. You're never going to think your way into not being nervous about its action. Okay? So whatever action you take, as long as it's safe, sane and consensual, then do anything you can to alleviate that short of altering your mindset, short of altering who you are. Because when people go to these things and they are so nervous that they get drunk, it kind of loses the objectivity, or it loses the consent. Like that kind of goes out the window because, you know, but if you're nervous and you are looking to start into something, maybe start with, what would I wear to this? What would I wear? What would give me the confidence to go and do this? Maybe start in your closet. That's all I'm saying. So I had someone message me that has messaged me before, and he wanted to talk. He wanted to ask me if I've ever been to any like bisexual parties um, or anything like that. I have played with women, but I've never really been to a bisexual party. And the reason for that is that my husband doesn't really play. My husband doesn't, and since he doesn't really play at the events or with anyone other than myself, bisexual play is not really something that's going to be additive for us. We actually used to go to a glory hole, and the reason that we kind of stopped was because there was nobody there who wanted me to do the sucking. There were several men who wanted my husband to do the sucking, but that wasn't really what we were there for. So, because of that experience, I have not participated in many bisexual parties or gay parties or anything in that ilk. Not because it was something that I didn't want to be part of, but more because of the fact that there was not a whole lot of offering there for me. Um, I tend to go where I know that I'm going to find success. And I set myself up for less um, outright rejection by going to parties where I what know that people are expecting a woman of my size. Um, I go to a lot of BBW parties. that is because there is a fine line between being confident in the scene and being crushed out of the scene. Um, there, I like people to know before we meet that I am a BBW, that I am not going to be a fit girl. I'm not going to be somebody who is svelte, and I'm going to be a dangerous, curvy road that is slippery when wet. And if people are in for that, I'm down. Like that, but I never want anybody to have to placate me. Just like I don't really want to placate a man. I I don't want to be somebody that people have to placate or, pity fuck. I want to be somebody that they are truly attracted to and truly excited to be with. Um because that's how I'm approaching it. I'm excited to fuck these guys. I'm excited to have my husband watch me fuck these guys. I am excited. And if the excitement is one-sided, it is fandom. So that for me is why I've never really been to a bisexual party. In this particular instance, however, this gentleman said that it was a great deal of fun and that he and his wife truly loved it. And I'm intrigued, and I'm not going to lie. I am intrigued. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Pineapple Pinup, the Hot Wife Life podcast. I am so grateful to all of you for paying attention, showing up, listening every week. And if there is anything that you want to know about me, please reach out. Now, September 21st, 2024, I was supposed to be scheduling another party, but it looks like we've got another week to figure out whether or not we're actually going to do it. So that may be canceled, just in case any of you were interested. So stay tuned, but you can catch me on my socials. My Instagram is in the description of the show. And you can always reach me at my Gmail account, pineapplepinuppod@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you.